It's Breezy on Ice Podcast, and I'm back with another episode for the podcast. And I'm gonna start off with this. I was reading this article on Yahoo Sports about Vince McMahon and how WrestleMania is like the biggest pay-per-view event ever, and it's been that way for 4 decades. And basically, the person who wrote this article on Yahoo Sports was saying maybe boxing should use the same idea or the same or use the same strategy or ideologies that Vince McMahon uses for the WWE. Well, it was once the WWF, and then transitioned to the WWE with having a big grand event, right, with your best fighters or those guys you consider the face of boxing, right? So boxing should have its own WrestleMania, right? Basically, you would have Gervonta Davis on that card. You would have Tyson Fury, guys like Alexander Usyk, guys like Terrence Bud Crawford, guys like Errol Spence, Anthony Joshua. I might have said Deontay Wilder, so forgive me if I did. But you would have those guys: Canelo Alvarez, Gervonta Davis, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder. You would have those guys all fight on the same card, and that would be like your WrestleMania of boxing. And you would generate a lot of money and revenue, and you can spike your pay-per-view prices a little bit. You will be able to market it a lot because you will have a card full of boxing elite. I think it's a great idea if boxing was to do something like that, because the sport of boxing, it needs to have something that the fans and the consumers, and especially the casual fans, the ones that watch boxing here and there, the casual fans, you want to bring in all the casual fans. So how about you bring in the casual fans all at once, right? For whatever particular event or night. And you have all of your best product on display. So you will have your best fighters fighting the best fighters all on one card. That way you can glue the casual fans to bars, to, having fight parties, just have it streaming on multiple platforms. Because you figure if you have Canelo Alvarez on that card, you can also have that on the zone, right? And then if you have a guy like Tyson Fury, you can have Fury generating money on ESPN for Top Rank, right? Gervonta Davis, you can have him on Showtime. And everybody be able to watch all these events no matter where you buy the source from, right? So if you buy it from Showtime pay-per-view, you're getting all of the same fights on that same card. But I know it's like, here's the problem, right? Different promotions, like you have promotion companies like Showtime, like the Zone. You have different sectors, and can all those guys agree to make a lot of money on one night? And I believe it's possible to cross brand. Everybody gets to make money on one night. Golden Boy, if it's a Golden Boy fighter, everybody gets to make money on. Everybody wins. Everybody eats. But everybody has to be willing to do business with each other. And that's part of the problem now with boxing. But if you have a main event that features all of your stars, you can't go wrong. I mean, it's a great idea. WrestleMania has been relevant for a very long time. Still the biggest WWE pay-per-view seller. WrestleMania is a show within a show within the show itself. It gets everybody tuned in the die-hard wrestling fans is glued in. You might even have some casuals that watch wrestling here and there. And hell, you can even bring back some of the old fans who used to enjoy it and love watching wrestling back, by bringing back certain people. Because, wrestling always... The thing about WWE and wrestling... Sorry, I keep losing my thought. The thing about the WWE and wrestling is that they always bring back legendary stars. So you will have stars from yesteryear come through on WrestleMania and give you a match. You never know if you're going to have The Rock pull up the WrestleMania. You never know if you're going to have Stone Cold pull up the WrestleMania. You never know if Sting is going to pull up the WrestleMania. You never know if you might get an appearance from Hulk Hogan. You don't know who's going to pull up to WrestleMania. That's what makes WrestleMania so special and makes it the biggest event of the year. And that's why it gets all eyes to this day. 4 decades of excellence. So boxing can use something or a formula that Vince McMahon and WWE used for WrestleMania is have one big event every year where you have all of the stars of boxing on a huge card. And then I believe WrestleMania, they do 2 shows, right? You have 2 days. You have the big show on Sunday, and you have the big slash coast show on Saturday. So you can get fans 2 nights. You can get them the superstars on the main event night, and you give them the stars or the blossoming stars on a card before that. Of course, you could charge one admission for both nights, and whatever you decide the price would be for that, then the price would be that. But the consumer buys one time for this major event, and you have Saturday to watch events, and then you have Sunday to watch the main events. I think you can't go wrong with that. I think it's an excellent idea. I think that writer that came up with that idea and wrote about that on Yahoo Sports. I'm sorry I don't know his name to cite him, but it was an excellent article that he written, and he put a lot of thought into it. He put a lot of emphasis on how boxing can become big and get eyes on it and generate a lot of money and revenue with having that WrestleMania like event every year with the best of the best of the best on the card. And I think you can't go wrong with that, because boxing's problem is this, right? Sometimes them undercards be trash, right? And you have to pay your $60, your $80, your $84, or however much the pay-per-view costs to watch an undercard that might not be so exciting with guys that you don't know. If you're not a hardcore boxing fan, you might not have heard of some of them guys. And if you're a hardcore boxing fan, you may have heard some of those guys, right? So the thing is this: you pay your money, you wanna see great fights throughout. So you want to get the consumers excited about not just the main event, but you want them to be excited and happy with the whole overall card. And a lot of boxing events don't give you that type of excitement throughout the whole, event. You might get a decent fight here. You have a couple of mediocre fights. You even might have a trash fight. And then you be like, all right, the co-main event, it may be good. It may be a good co-main event depending on who's fighting. And it may not be the best co-main event. And you're waiting for the main event. So if you have a stacked card and a WrestleMania type theme, the consumer don't get cheated at all. You get great fights throughout the whole card. And it don't matter who the main event is, because all those fights are practically main event fights. Because all those fights have stars in it. Like, could you imagine if Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua was fighting in December, right? In the Middle East, I believe, right? If those guys is fighting in the Middle East and you have Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence on that card, and you have Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, and you have Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk on that card, you don't think that would sell out there in the Middle East? It doesn't matter who the main event is. If the main event is Usyk and Fury, and your co-main event is Wilder and AJ, and then you have Tank and Shakur before that. I mean, you can't go wrong. Or you have Spence Crawford, right? You can have AJ Wilder, Spence Crawford, and then you can have Fury and Usyk, because those two fights would be the last two fights because of the titles, because those are for undisputed, right? But you have an entertaining as hell fight, because whoever hits who first the hardest between AJ and Wilder is going to get knocked the fuck out. So that's a whole lot of excitement, a whole lot of anticipation build up, especially as the rounds go on. You're like, oh, who's going to get who? Who's going to get who? Who's going to get who? I do still believe that Wilder will have to get AJ early. But I don't count Anthony Joshua out. I don't count Wilder out. It's going to be an exciting fight. I have no horse in the race anymore at this point, because I do believe AJ, he's not the same mentally as he was before. So I don't have a dog in that fight. But is it an entertaining fight? Hell yeah. Is it a fight that you're going to be on the edge of the seat for? Hell yeah, because you want to know who's going to get who first, because that's the kind of power that we have in that fight. Who's going to get who first? We know whoever gets to who first is going the fuck to sleep. And that's what's going to draw the interest, right? And then, you know what Gervonta Tank Davis do, you know what Shakur Stevenson will do, or if it's Haney or Gervonta and whoever, those are the best fights to watch. And then you can have the night before, the blossoming stars or the stars. Like, you can have Virgil Ortiz versus Javon Boots Ennis. You could have Canelo Alvarez headline that Saturday night with Bivol or whoever he plans on fighting, or Benavidez and the kid that just won. I believe he's on a tank card. The kid that just won on a tank card who called out David Benavidez. You could have that fight there. You could also have it's just a whole lot of things you can do with that WrestleMania type theme, and I'm excited about that. That's like the best thing I read all day. Let's get into other sports. The Rangers, they are out of the playoffs. They lost the battle in the metropolitan area. The New Jersey Devils advanced, so congratulations to the New Jersey Devils. It's interesting to see who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's getting entertaining. I'm going to actually try to sit down and watch a hockey playoff game, something that I haven't done before. So I did watch, I believe, 1 year. Wow, that's a long time ago, I believe. The Los Angeles Kings, they won. They Stanley Cup. I watched a little bit of that, and when they win, it's different. Each player like skates around the rink, the ice, the hockey rink, holding the Stanley Cup up. So it's a little bit different than any other sport. But I'm gonna try to watch some of them playoff games as far as the NHL. Game 2 tonight, between the Lakers and the Warriors. It's do or die for the Warriors. The Warriors, man, I can't believe they lost that game, man. I mean, Steph hit 6 threes, Klay hit 6 threes, and Jordan Poole hit 6 threes. You still lose. The Lakers collectively as a team only hit 6 threes as a team. But Anthony Davis, monster game, obviously. I believe he had 30-plus points, 23 rebounds. I think he had 4 or 5 blocks or something like that. But how long can AD keep that up? Can AD give you those type of points and production throughout the remainder of the series? Because if he can do that, then LA wins the series, obviously, right? But I don't think he can. I believe he's going to have, just as he has as many great games he's going to have in this series, he's going to have at least 2 or 3 shitty games. And tonight might be the night that he might not be on his P's and Q's. Because we know that's what Anthony Davis does. He has mental lapses where he's just not that guy. And we know Anthony Davis is a beast, man. When he's locked in, man, he's locked in. But how long can he stay locked in? Now, if he can prove me wrong and stay locked in this whole series and average 30 and 20, then the Lakers are the team to beat. If he can average 30 and 20. I mean, because whoever he plays in the next round, whether it's Phoenix, which is looking like Phoenix is fizzling out, CP is always hurt during this time of the year. I do believe KD and Booker are enough to win some games. But Deontay Ayton had to be on his P's and Q's now because he's going to be needed more than ever. And why isn't Terrence Ross getting as much burn in the games? I mean, Terrence Ross is a guy that can catch fire and help you out. Also, another guy that can get you buckets is T.J. Warren. T.J. Warren was just a guy a couple of years ago in the bubble that was killing everybody with the Pacers, man. I mean, T.J. Warren is a guy that was looking like a superstar before the foot injury, that looking like he's going to get max dollar, that looked like he's going to be the new superstar of the Indiana Pacers before things went south due to foot injury and stuff like that. So T.J. Warren is a guy who I believe who has a lot to prove and has shown a lot in his time in Indiana. Now, can he get back to that level? I think he can. He just needs to play more. I'm not sure if he's 100% over the foot injury or not. That remains to be seen. But T.J. Warren is a guy that can really help this Phoenix Suns team win some games. And Terrence Ross is a guy who can get hot. We know Terrence Ross is known to hit, a lot of threes and get you 25, 26 points any given night. You just don't know when he's going to give it to you, but when he gives it to you, he gives it to you. And Phoenix need all the firepower they can need right now. Too bad they couldn't keep Jay Crowder. I think Jay Crowder would have been excellent if things didn't go south with them, between them, or whatever. But if Phoenix goes down 3-0, the series is over. And I'm not big on the Denver Nuggets. I think the Denver Nuggets is a good team. I think they got talent. I just think they are flat. Me personally, I think they're flat. They're a flat team. They're a team with a lot of sparkle and, pizzazz and all that shit during the season at times. But in the playoffs, they haven't really proven a lot, We're talking about a guy who was an MVP. That I would never let him live this down. A guy in the Joker who was an MVP can only buy your team one win in the playoff series. Like, I just don't think, the MVP player should go out like that. I believe an MVP player could get you 2 wins at least in the series. I mean, he couldn't even get 2 wins. And he's a guy that's good, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking nothing away from his talent. But, your star players are supposed to grind you out wins, whether it's out without Jamal Murray or not. So it makes you think that the Denver Nuggets is more of a Jamal Murray team. Again, this is my opinion. I don't care if anybody hates it or not, or disagree with me or anything. I believe the Denver Nuggets go as far as Jamal Murray takes them. Not as far as Joker takes them, but as far as Jamal Murray takes them. Because we've seen what Joker did without Jamal Murray. He got you 1 win in the playoff series. But if they are to advance and beat the Phoenix Suns, I believe if Anthony Davis continues to play the way he plays, the Lakers is going to be in the NBA Finals because I don't see Denver beating LA if they beat Phoenix. That's just my opinion, especially if LA beats Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. But if they can take 2 games on the road from the defending champs, then those guys are on the ropes because you gotta go to LA and try to win 2. And I don't know if you go to that Showtime, that legendary Lakers house at Staples, and I'm not even sure if it's still called Staples Center, but you're not gonna go there and win 2 games, man. If you go down 2-0, you just blatantly give up home court advantage. So the Warriors gotta win tonight. They gotta win tonight. They can't give up home court advantage like that. Boston and Phoenix, they split. So we're going to Philly now for the next 2. The Knicks took care of business for game 2. They heading out to Miami. I'm not sure if Jimmy Butler's going to play. I'm sure he will play game 3. He didn't play game 2. I'm sure if he's able to go game 3, he's going to go. Game 3 is an important game. I believe whoever wins game 3, like I said, games 3 and 5 is the most important games in the series. Whoever wins game 3, I believe will win the series between the Knicks and the Heat. That's just my take right there on that. Same thing with that Philly and Boston series. Whoever wins that game will win the series. Ultimately, whoever loses that game, I'm not saying there's not a chance they win, but they don't snatch that game 5. It's pretty much momentum, shift the other way because game 3 and 5 is the most pivotal games in the series. Usually the teams that win game 3 and game 5 usually go on to win the whole thing. But it's good for basketball. The Knicks is doing their thing. I actually lost a bet in the first round. We're not gonna get into that, but it's good, man. It's good, man. The NBA playoffs is good, man. It's good. It's shaping up to be a good thing. Joel Embiid is finally won an MVP. Finally won an MVP. So congratulations to Joel Embiid. I believe he should have 2 of them things, but we're not gonna get into that. Just like Harden should have a few too. Even if you let Harden and Westbrook share the MVP that 1 year, that would have been respectable to me. I know Russ averaged a triple-double, but you can't take away what James Harden did. I would have been cool with both of those guys being awarded the MVP for that season. It was just would have been fitting, It just would have been fitting, in my opinion, if it would have went that way. But hey, fuck it. Who cares what I think, right? What else? Oh, Milwaukee fired their coach, Mike Budenholzer. So they have to figure out who their next coach is going to be. This is interesting to see who's going to be the next coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not sure who's out there. Nate McMillan is out there. If they want to hire Nate McMillan, I believe he's available. But Udoka is the coach of the Rockets, so they lose out on that sweepstakes. I'm gonna go back to this, man. I'm gonna go back to this person that is available and has been extremely available for some years now. Mark Jackson is available, people. Mark Jackson is available. Mark Jackson is available to be a head coach. Mark Jackson is available to be a head coach. So I think if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, I think you get on the phone and you call Mark Jackson and you check his temperature. Hey, Mark, do you still want to be an analyst for TNT or Turner Sports or whoever you're an analyst for? I have an offer for you if you want to be the next head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. We got Giannis here, got Brook Lopez, got Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. Obviously we got bounced in the first round, so we trying to make some changes, and we feel like you're the guy that can get the job done and get us back into a deeper playoff run and maybe, win another championship. What do you say, Mark? Hey, man, gotta call him, man. He's available. Gotta make the phone call to Mark Jackson. That's my opinion. He's the best coach that's out there. It may be a better options, out there, but I think Mark Jackson is a guy that's the cream of the crop of coaches, and he deserves another chance to coach. He gets the best out of guys. I think he'll get the best out of Giannis, Chris Middleton, obviously. Jay Crowder is a good team. I don't think they need much. I don't think they need anything. I think if Giannis wasn't hurt, they might have won that series. And if Giannis would have been guarding Jimmy Butler, it might have made a difference. Your best defenders have to guard the other team's best players. This is playoff basketball. This is what this shit is about. Like, if you're a superstar player and you scared to guard another superstar player or another star player when it's crunch time and when the games is on line and when it's championships and shit at stake, then how can you consider yourself a superstar player? No, Giannis was supposed to excel. Mike Budenholzer, no, man, I don't care if I have a knee injury or whatever I'm going through. If I'm out here playing, I need to give my all. And this guy is hot. I know you don't want me to guard him, but I'm going to guard him. If he beats me and he torches me, at least I can say that me as a star player on this team, or a superstar player, because Giannis is a superstar. As a superstar player on this team, I took on Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler, their superstar player, and I guarded him, and he just was the better man tonight. That's it. He was supposed to say, fuck what everybody says. Y'all get out the way. Jimmy Butler is my assignment. He's my assignment task. I'm going to take this task and guard Jimmy Butler on the defensive end, because Jimmy Butler took the task of definitely guarding Giannis on the other end. Jimmy Butler is the type of guy that's not going to shy away from guarding anybody. In fact, Jimmy Butler takes that challenge head on, and he rises to the occasion. And I feel like Giannis had to make that executive decision for himself, no matter what Mike Budenholzer wanted him to do. I just said, with all due respect, coach, and I mean no disrespect, but I'm going to guard him. Whether my knee or my ankles hurt, but if I'm out here playing, I'm supposed to get his team my all, and I'm going to go down guarding Jimmy Butler. Case closed. But I do think Mark Jackson is the guy that can get some change, make some changes there, and get them to another championship. As far as the East go, I wouldn't mind seeing either a Philly Knicks Eastern Conference Finals or a Boston Knicks Eastern Conference Finals. But I think you're going to get more of a Boston and Knicks Eastern Conference Finals, especially if Jimmy Butler doesn't play Game 3. I think that's what we're going to get. I don't mind that. I actually look forward to that and welcome that. Hell, I might even try to go to an Eastern Conference Finals game if it's the Celtics and the Knicks. Yeah. I think I'll open my wallet and spend some money to go to high-ass MSG and see that. But, yeah, man. That's pretty much it for now. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Got some games coming on later, looking forward to. Got some hockey coming on later, too. I'm not sure how them series look. I know the Mets been losing. We lost today. I think the Yankees won last night. MLB is shaping up well. And, yeah, man, gotta love it, man. This is like the best time of the year. The WNBA is coming back, so I'm gonna make sure I have videos covering the scores of the WNBA. Want to see what the future stars is gonna do. Aaliyah Boston is officially in the league now. That whole class is officially in the league. I got my eyes on I think she was the number 10 pick of the WNBA. I believe she played in South Carolina with Aaliyah Boston. I can't call her name right now, but I think she plays for the LA Sparks. She got some game. She got a lot of game. And she's a competitor from the way she was talking after she was drafted. She's definitely a competitor. She's a hooper, man. So I'm going to have my eyes on her and see how she develop. Hell, who knows? She may challenge Aaliyah Boston for Rookie of the Year. We shall see, though. We shall see. Can't wait for that to kick off. I believe the season kick off very soon, sometime in May. I'm just going to double check that real quick. I believe it's in May. I don't want to say what day. I'm about to find out what day for sure. I know it's May. No, it's this month. But yeah, I think this draft class is a talented draft class for the WNBA. They league do need more eyes on it. So hopefully, the league does get the eyes that it needs. Yeah, they do need to get get some eyes on the league, man. Yes, tomorrow at 8 p.m. you have the Chicago Sky, and the Dallas Wings at 8 o'clock. And you have the Washington Mystics and the Minnesota Lynx at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So that's the first two WNBA games kicking off the season. I will have content about that with the winners and so forth. But that's all I got for right now. Like, comment, subscribe. Help the kid out, man. Trying to build this channel up. Just help the kid out, man. Keep this channel growing, get this thing growing, get this thing popping off. It's Breezy on Ice podcast. Peace and love. Breezy out.